The question about whether we should be teaching neutral pelvis or not seems to come up quite a lot. And for me, there's also the concept of neutral spine. Now, I think if we get dogmatic about the actual position and try and force our clients into that position, that's where things end up going wrong. If somebody is feeling uncomfortable in that position, then it's not right. Then we need to consider whether we are adhering to an ideal because we've been told that that's what we have to teach, or whether we're actually teaching our client correctly. I do use neutral pelvis, and I do explain to my clients what that means. So to me, neutral pelvis is a position that gives us a good starting point. It is also a position that we move through from one position to another. So for example, if I was teaching roll down, I might start in neutral, and then I will be going into posterior tilt, and then I would end up in a neutral again. I would roll up, starting from neutral, come through my posterior tilt, and then back into neutral, or even a slight extension, just depending on what it is that I'm doing. So to me, it is not a static position. It is not a position that you should idealize. It is simply a teaching point. I don't belabor the point, but I help clients to understand that just like the neutral in your car, where you are ready for action, but you haven't yet moved forward or backwards, this is a position that you could call home, and it gives you somewhere to start from. So if we don't have that, if we don't have some of these little key things, it can become really hard sometimes to know what are we actually doing? Where do we start from? And how do we get from one place to the other if we don't have some kind of a reference point? So don't get bogged down by neutral. Don't sort of see it as the holy grail, because it isn't. It is just another position. And it is just a way for us to explain to our clients somewhere to start. In my experience, once we've sort of established where a good pelvic placement is, people have gotten a little bit stressed and they often flare their ribs and they feel overarched. So I just cue them to relax their ribs, and usually they say, oh, that feels a lot better. I don't encourage them to stick the back of their rib cage down onto the mat or anything like that. Again, that comes with force. The body needs to feel comfortable, and sometimes that pursuit of trying to find neutral pelvis takes time. If somebody is just too overstretched in their lower back, or they're too strong in their abdominal area, they don't have the ability to move into what we would call an ideal neutral. That is a textbook case. Find what is comfortable for your client and work from there. So I hope that helps, and the same goes for neutral spine. We try and get as close to that position as we possibly can to give people somewhere to come home to.